You spend your entire life perfecting the art of being someone else, a version of you that is palatable, agreeable, and entirely hollow. You have grown so accustomed to the weight of your own mask that you have forgotten the sensation of your own skin beneath it. You look into the mirror each morning, expecting to see a reflection, but instead, you are greeted by a stranger who mimics your gestures with perfect, robotic precision. This is not just a performance for the world, it is a desperate survival strategy you adopted long ago, a way to navigate the jagged edges of human interaction without bleeding. You are the architect of your own imprisonment, building walls out of polite laughter, nodding at moments where you feel nothing but apathy, and speaking words that carry no weight. You believe that if you keep the facade flawless, you will eventually be safe, yet you are merely starving the entity that lives within the fortress. Every social interaction is a chess match where you are both the player and the pawn, exhausted by the effort of predicting how you should feel, how you should react, and how you should exist in spaces that never truly invited you. You are hiding in plain sight, convinced that if someone actually saw the raw, tangled mess of your internal landscape, they would turn away in disgust or pity, and that is a risk you cannot afford to take. The silence in your room at night is the only time the mask slips, but you have become so good at deceiving yourself that even then, you struggle to acknowledge the truth. You lie there in the dark, the ceiling fan carving slow, monotonous circles into the stagnant air, and you allow the thoughts you have suppressed all day to finally claw their way to the surface. Your mind is a graveyard of things you wanted to say but swallowed instead. You replay conversations from hours ago, dissecting your own responses, agonizing over the tone of your voice, and wondering if anyone sensed the tremor behind your curated indifference. It is an exquisite, private torture. You are drowning in the shallows, overwhelmed by the mundane tasks that everyone else seems to perform with such effortless grace. You watch them, the people on the street, the colleagues at their desks, and you feel like an alien anthropologist observing a species you will never belong to. You do not envy them, you envy their coherence. You envy the way their thoughts seem to flow in a single, unified direction while yours scatter like shards of glass under the pressure of too much awareness. You have become an expert in the aesthetics of stability, wearing oversized sweaters as armor and maintaining a neutral expression that screams volumes about your desire to be invisible. The weight of this dissonance is physical. It lives in the tension in your jaw, the phantom pressure in your chest, and the way you hold your breath when someone asks you how you are actually doing. When you answer, "I'm fine," it is the most honest lie you have ever told. It is an act of violence against your own experience, yet it is necessary to prevent the entire structure of your existence from collapsing. You have cultivated this persona so meticulously that your friends and family would be baffled if you ever dropped the act. They know the polite, reliable, slightly distant version of you. They have no concept of the cavernous void that consumes your thoughts when the lights go out. Sometimes, you wonder if you have already been discovered. You imagine someone staring at you with sudden clarity, peeling back the layers of your polite defense mechanisms to reveal the hollow space where a personality should be. The thought is not entirely terrifying, it is almost a relief. To be unmasked would be to be unburdened, yet you lack the courage to initiate the unveiling. You continue to feed the mask, pouring your remaining vitality into a costume that is slowly suffocating the wearer. You curate your digital footprint to suggest a life of purpose and gentle melancholy, an aestheticized version of your misery that the world can digest. You find yourself oscillating between a profound need for connection and an equally intense desire to remain completely isolated. The presence of others feels like an intrusion, a demand for performance that you no longer have the energy to satisfy, yet the isolation is equally suffocating, feeding the narrative that you are fundamentally broken. You overthink every flicker of eye contact, every pause in a conversation, convinced that your internal misalignment is leaking out, that people can smell the decay of your authentic self. You are a ghost inhabiting a corpse that still walks, talks, and pays taxes. You are terrified that if you stopped talking, stopped smiling, and stopped pretending to care about the things you are expected to care about, there would be nothing left. You fear that your core is not just hidden, but non-existent, that you are simply a collection of reactions to other people's expectations, a mirror that reflects everything but possesses no light of its own. This realization, if it can be called that, is the most bitter pill you have ever swallowed. It is the acknowledgement that your survival has come at the cost of your soul. You are a masterpiece of self-deception, guarding a secret that nobody is actually trying to uncover, because everyone else is too busy curating their own masks to notice that yours is made of nothing but smoke. In the quiet, final hours of the night, you finally recognize the nature of your deceit. You have been lying to yourself about why you wear the mask. It wasn't to protect yourself from them, it was to protect you from the crushing realization that you have spent so much time hiding that you have lost the map to your own center. You realize that the person you were trying to be was never a requirement for survival, but a choice you made out of fear. The truth is not a grand, dramatic revelation, but a cold, quiet observation. You are a stranger to yourself, and you are the only one who can decide if the mask is a shield or a shroud. You stare into the ceiling and finally let the thought exist without judgment. You are profoundly lonely, not because you are alone, but because you are never truly present for yourself. The mask is not heavy because of the world, it is heavy because you are holding it up with every ounce of your remaining strength. You close your eyes, the weight of the lie finally settling into your bones, and for the first time in a long time, you stop trying to convince the darkness that you are okay. You are simply there, unadorned, existing in the wreckage of your own performance. The mask fits perfectly until the mirror cracks. I am the only witness to my own disappearance.